He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, one of the most influential shows in the 1980s. If only somebody were to, create a fan-made episode of this which has the same look and feel as the original show. Oh wait, someone did! And that someone is He-Man superfan James Eatock, along with Dusan Milovic. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. Please keep up the good work with the nostalgia there, Dusan. I know which YouTube channel you're on. Anyway, today going live is the Kickstarter for a documentary called Filmation, headed by a guy called Rob McCallum, of whom James has had contact with for a while now. Basically this all began because James and Dusan, as I mentioned, had created a fan-made He-Man episode. And I was lucky enough to have seen at least the first half of it, a private screening, and wow, it's amazing. It really is. It looks and feels exactly like the actual show itself, but it's completely fan-made. So yeah, they took a lot of elements from various different He-Man episodes and some other Filmation sources, and they just put them all together into this outstanding looking cartoon. It really is absolutely amazing. But then came a big problem. When James is going to premiere this whole thing at Comic-Con one year, he then got a cease and desist letter from NBC Universal, of all companies. Why NBC Universal? Well, this is because the company Classic Media and then DreamWorks Animation, and then they got folded into NBC Universal, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they bought out the Filmation back catalogue, and that includes He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, She-Ra Princess of Power, and, all of them. And because they own the cartoon rights currently, they said basically, no, you can't do this, James. If you do go ahead, we'll fine you $150,000 or something ridiculous. So yeah, that kind of put a stop to it all. And before you're wondering, where's Mattel in all this? Because He-Man's a Mattel brand. They are doing absolutely sod all. As far as the cartoon is concerned, that's it. Unlike Hasbro, who have realised the importance of keeping a close eye on all their intellectual properties, they brought back all the cartoon shows that are associated with Hasbro brands. Not so much Mattel. Nope. No. No. In their infinite wisdom, Mattel are a bit more loose with their copyrights, shall we say. And because of that, people are basically free to say that they own the rights to this. Well, at least the cartoons, not the actual brand itself, not the toys or the action figures or dolls or whatever. But they do own the rights to the cartoon. It's all very finicky stuff. But anyway, through this documentary, Rob McCallum thinks he's perhaps hopefully found a way around it all. As a means of presenting it through a documentary. So, this documentary, Faking Filmation, will tell the story about how James and Dusan put the cartoon together with the help of several others, and, how it got quite good reception for when he did show it, and of course all the legal issues that followed, and how, of course, Rob's helping him out now to produce this documentary. And the documentary itself, will also go into stuff like talking about, the history of Saturday morning cartoons, talking to other historians and people who worked on other cartoon shows to, explain the full impact of it all. And, of course, going into depth about Filmation itself, the very company that they are faking, as it were. So a Kickstarter has started today, and so far at the time of this recording has reached about 36% of its goal, and it's raised quite a bit. So hopefully within a few days Sorry, I'm recording this live. James would have enough money to cover the costs for, or Rob, or rather Rob's the one making the documentary, him and his company. They'll be able to make the documentary, but even if they do reach their top prize goal within a few days, which will be absolutely amazing, the more money they raise throughout the whole month, the extra money will just go into bigger and better stuff. Pledges include, you can get like a DVD copy of the documentary, you can get a Blu-ray. They're hoping for a 2-disc Blu-ray, which the first disc will be the documentary itself and the second disc will be the extras, which might include the Return of Faker itself. Wink wink, nudge nudge. Well, we're hoping for that anyway. And heck, they've even planned on giving us a VHS copy. Yeah, honestly, a VHS copy like this. Yes, James, you're not the only one with that deleted scene. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing. So yeah, if you're able to pledge anything to this Kickstarter, then go right ahead. It's going to be open until at least the Friday the 7th of May. That's when the Kickstarter campaign ends. So be sure to get your pledges in by then if you want to support. Like I said, they've got like different tiers. Like I said, the like the DVD is I think one of the lower tiers. The VHS is kind of like in the mid tier, and you got the standard disc Blu-ray, and you get the double disc Blu-ray along with some like very big credits. Like I think one you actually you can be interviewed for the documentary itself. Oh, by the way, it's all in dollars, but they have a little quote if you're from another country to say how much that would be in your money. Oh, and in case you're wondering, you wouldn't be charged any of the money you pledge until the end of the Kickstarter campaign, and that is if they reach their goal. So, well, it looks like they hopefully will reach their goal, and if they do, then you won't be charged until I think the following Saturday at least. When the Kickstarter campaign ends. Once it ends, that's when the money is due to go out, since obviously they have to get the money somehow. And of course, with said money, Rob can produce the documentary and send out physical copies and everything. So yeah, it's going to take him a couple of years. They mentioned when I looked it up in the Kickstarter, but yeah, it should be time well worth the wait. So I'll be putting the link of the Kickstarter in the description below, so that if you want to pledge, go ahead and pledge, especially if you're a He-Man fan. Like I said, I've seen the first half of Return of Faker at a private screening. Absolutely outstanding. And, this is and I've met James. James is an amazing guy. He really is in love with He-Man and the Master of the Universe. He'll try to do anything to get this made and released out there so all the fans can see it and perhaps make a bit of a little bit of money from it, but mostly he's doing it because he's a huge fan of the series. Oh, and of course, if it doesn't matter how much you pledge, everybody gets free digital copies of the documentary whatsoever. So if you can't back any of the Blu-ray, VHS, DVD tiers or whatever, you just want to go for a low tier, that's absolutely fine. And if it goes through okay, you're guaranteed to get at least a digital copy of the documentary and its special features once it's released. So yeah, again, I'll be popping a link to the Kickstarter in the description below, and hopefully we will have the Return of Faker, not this, but from this show, made into a reality at long last.